Welcome. Thank you for joining us for Clare Hagan's The Players of the Time After, one of our plays in our fully digital new play reading festival this summer.
If you don't know who we are, this is our 5th season of developing Louisville area playwrights. We meet once a month over the course of a season for 10 months. We bring actors in and we read each other's pages and we offer feedback to each other as the season goes on.
If you get a chance and are able, there should be a link below or somewhere that you can click and make a small donation, price of a ticket, and help us cover a few of the costs that we've acquired. And any support would be greatly appreciated.
This is certainly not how we saw this festival going initially. Our current times have shuttered all theaters and made us all Zoom experts. But we do appreciate you and hope that you enjoy Clare Hagan's The Players of the Time After.
The Players of the Time After by Clare Hagan. Cast of characters: Madge, Silas, Hestia, Al, Sophia, Vincent, and Jamie. When the end of the world comes, I want to be in Kentucky because it's always 20 years behind the times. Mark Twain, allegedly. Act 1, listening to the land. Scene 1, on stage. There's a rigged up curtain framing the stage. Silas steps forward. Hestia, Sophia, and Al stand behind him, ready to perform. Sophia holds a guitar in her hand.
I want to thank each and every one of you out here for your hospitality. Many years ago, my father came to this land from up north where he was born. He lived on a green scrap of farmland that he managed to grow into a respectable plot thanks to the help of his friends and neighbors. Every morning and evening, he took time to listen to the land. He walked down the forest paths, up and over hills, just listening patiently. The earth had a lot to say. When the oceans rose up and refugees came flooding in with the tides, my father took people in. I know some of you folks might see the coastal refugees as outsiders, especially the newest wave of migrants coming in. But maybe others of you remember them as the ones who raised you, the ones that made you who you are, your people. You see, my mother was a coastal refugee. She worked right alongside my father every single day I knew her. With all my father's listening to the earth, he knew what crops could thrive with a bit more heat and a bit less rain. When gasoline got expensive, he asked the oldest folks in town how to farm the land the old-fashioned way, with a mule, and his land began to thrive. The folks my father took in benefited from this bounty, and they also benefited from my mother's fantastic stories. She would collect them from the trees and the grass and tell a tale that could sustain a person just as much as my father's food. In their honor, my friends and I gather once every other year to journey around this area and share stories in a performance of sorts. We know you wonderful folks here might not be used to our style of storytelling. There isn't much theater around these parts, and even fewer traveling theater troupes. We aren't rich folks, but we certainly don't perform these stories to make ourselves richer. I'm just a farmer myself, and my children tend to the land while I'm away. My friends here have come from very far away at their own expense. And once we are together, we travel the old highways by bike to get from place to place. After all, electric car rides aren't getting any cheaper, especially way out here. We try to visit new towns as much as possible. Our friend here,
Silas gestures to someone in the audience,
came and saw us perform at a week-long festival in the next county over a couple years back and asked if we might stop here on the next trip around. We didn't see how we could refuse. We thank you all for sharing with us your food, your drink, a place of shelter, and your presence. We are incredibly humbled by your kindness. Now, these are your players. May the tales begin.
Blackout, end of scene. Scene 2, a kitchen. Madge is frantically trying to get dinner together. She runs to grab ingredients, chopping, stirring. She sings an upbeat old tune as she works, something like Keep on the Sunny Side. During any transitions, the actor playing Jamie can play music. In this case, the actor might play the tune that Madge is singing. From off stage,
Madge, Gracie, I'm home.
Hey, Vincent.
Madge runs to grab another forgotten ingredient or implement. Vincent enters.
Whoa, there, speedy child.
Sorry, just trying to get dinner ready in a good and timely manner.
You're all right, Madge. You're fine. Where's Gracie? I thought she'd be in here with you.
She's in our room.
Oh, I'll go check up on her.
No,
What?
nothing.
She's not up there, is she?
Kate and Otis's parents were all right with Gracie staying on her own, so I headed back here early to start on dinner. She should be home in about 15 minutes.
She was supposed to be with you all day, Madge.
She really wanted to stay with her friends, and besides, I think it's good she has some independence. I really don't see what the problem is.
If you don't think there was a problem with it, then why did you just lie to my face?
Because you get worried.
Of course I get worried. I'm your caretaker, and I was told you not to leave her alone.
She's 10 years old.
Yes. And you know what kind of dangerous people that are passing through town? Do you know what they would do to a little girl like that?
Their farm's only a 10-minute walk away. They're practically our next door neighbor. She's fine.
I told you to go get her. Now.
Look, I'm sorry if you disagree with the way that I take care of my family.
Supper can wait, Madge.
Vincent tries to prevent Madge from working on dinner.
Get off, Vincent. I need to get this done.
Madge breaks out of his grip.
If I don't keep working on supper, it won't be done in time for the show tonight. I barely have enough time as it is.
What on earth are you talking about?
There's going to be a traveling theater troupe in town tonight, and they were all really good friends with Josephine. She was even going to travel with them. It's the first time they've ever come here.
Madge, I'm not thinking about going to some theater show right now. I'm thinking about you getting out of this house and bringing Gracie back here before she tries to walk home on her own.
Well, could I?
No, I forbid you to go.
So that's it. And just like that, I can't go to the show because you're scared. Because you're scared of everything. Josephine loved these people.
I would
Vincent.
love to see you leaving this house and doing what you're told. Please, Madge.
Once again, Vincent starts gently but physically moving Madge towards the door. Madge breaks free.
Josephine would have let me go. She would have wanted me to go to the show.
Don't talk to me about your older sister would have wanted. What my wife would have wanted.
She wasn't that much older than me, Vincent. In 4 years' time, I'll be older than Josephine ever had the chance to be. And I refuse to waste that time. I am going to the show.
Madge grabs a bag and starts walking towards the door.
You go get your sister right now. I don't want to see you in this house again unless she's walking back here with you.
Fine.
Thank you.
You won't see me in this house again.
Madge, don't you dare!
I don't want to come back here anyway.
Madge exits, end scene. Scene 3 on stage. Silas, Hestia, Sophia, and Al stand on stage. Sophia strums softly on the guitar as Silas begins the show. During these show scenes, actors should feel free to add little bits, ad-lib, improvise. Madge sneaks into the audience quietly at some point.
The first story given to my mother arrived across a wide field at sunset. Far across this field, there was one tree, far taller than the others laid out across the sky. For a moment, 2 young boys stood with her and my father, watching the trees and the orange sunset. As quick as the boys had come, they vanished back into the field. That night, my parents shared the same strange dream. They dreamed of 2 brothers.
Silas and Hestia step forward to become the 2 brothers.
The 2 brothers ran everywhere and played, but their favorite place to play was beneath the largest tree in the forest, in a wide valley below the mountains.
Al forms the tree.
They would play in the shadow of the tree all day and pretend that it was alive.
Silas and Hestia play a game or two, hopscotch, patty cake. Sophia starts to strum on the guitar, a foot-stomping song, while Silas and Hestia play as the children may be interacting with the audience and trying to pull them into the frenetic energy.
I love the mountains I love the rolling hills, I love the flowers, I love the daffodils, I love a fireside when all the lights are low. Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada. Everybody, boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
He laughs and thanks the audience deeply and sincerely for their help, inviting as much as thanking in cases where they may have held back.
These two brothers loved to play and play, but the older they got, the less time they could spend playing. They had to get serious.
Emotion or action transforms them into workaholic adults. Maybe Al hands them ties.
We have to get serious.
Except no one who was serious wanted us. And so we worked jobs to survive, living together in a small apartment.
Silas and Hestia act out the following actions. Al and Sophia may help them show some of the actions.
We wake up around noon just in time to head out for work.
We'd smoke a cigarette to cover up the taste of sleep.
Then we'd wander off to our jobs.
I worked as a waiter.
I worked as a cook.
Maybe Al or Sophia play a boss, a patron acting out the workday.
We would wander back home around 10 o'clock or midnight and just fall into the couch.
Our bodies were exhausted. There wasn't much we could do.
Too wound up to sleep, too tired to move.
Sometimes we'd make ourselves some food, but mostly we just sit on the couch until we fell asleep around sunrise.
Then we'd wake around noon to do it all again.
We never poked our heads outside of our tiny little world. We just made it day to day.
It wasn't until we visited our parents' house that we noticed.
They were gone.
We started talking to people around town. Can you help us? Do you have any idea what's going on?
Don't you all know? People have been disappearing right and left.
I told my brother. I didn't know how, but somehow I was certain that this had something to do with the trees we played with when we were kids.
We ran to the tree.
I have been waiting for you, brothers.
Are trees supposed to talk?
I'm kind of thinking no.
I am not just a tree. I am the spirit of this place, born out of the imagination of all the children that have played in my shadow, just as you two played in my shadow. But you do not come and visit me anymore. You have forgotten how to just be here. So, like many in the town before you, you are now disappeared.
Al Tree claps his hands, branches, whatever. Silas and Hestia look around. Maybe they shake softly or move as though they were floating.
But we're still here.
Crazy tree, what does he know?
We went back to town, but when we went to work the next day...
I swear I'm going to fire him if he's late again.
Al and Sophia's characters cannot see or hear Silas and Hestia's characters.
I'm right here. What are you talking about? I'm here.
Please don't make me work this shift alone. Please don't make me work this shift alone.
You won't need to, buddy.
Man, I guess that cook was supposed to work is just really an insensitive jerk.
No, I'm not. I swear, I'm not.
What are we going to do?
I don't know.
The brothers went out into town, and they saw people walking through, disconnected.
People they hadn't seen in ages.
All the disappeared, mingling with the living.
They were there the whole time, and we didn't even know it.
Do you think we'll ever be seen again by the undisappeared?
Maybe. Remember what that tree was talking about? How we've forgotten how to just be?
Yeah, I don't really know what that means.
Remember when we were kids? We lived where we were. We played, we saw the trees. Lately, the best days have been the ones where I feel farthest away from myself. But what if I could look and really see? What if I could stop worrying about my problems and just...
Silas looks around him. Sophia begins to strum the guitar softly.
I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the flowers. I love the daffodils. I love a fireside when all the lights are low. Boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada.
If Silas has been moving to represent his disappeared state, he becomes still.
Brother, where are you? What happened to you? Where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Unless...
There you are. I thought I was going to have to pull a shift alone.
You can see me?
Of course I can see you. And don't think just because you've gone crazy you won't have to work today.
No, I'll work. I'll be right in. There's just something I got to do real fast.
Don't run out on me.
You got it.
Al leaves them.
Brother, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. What did you do?
I think I feel you here.
Well, okay.
Just listen to me. You need to ground yourself, to look, to really see. Think of something that will remind you of childhood. But first, maybe, try to help the others. See if you can help the others.
To Sophia, who's in a disappeared state.
You there?
Me?
Yes, you. I take it you're one of the disappeared, but with the understanding me and all?
Why, yes, I am. Been disappeared nearly 3 years now. I was one of the first to go.
Do you want to go back? Back to the undisappeared?
I would really love to go back. I would love for my dog to see me again.
Well, then think about him. Think about your dog. Think about the things that remind you of home and the places where you want to be present and alive.
Okay, I'll try.
Did it work?
Sophia becomes still. Silas can see her.
I think it's working. Try another.
To an audience member.
What about you? You're obviously disappeared. What's something that makes you feel present? Something that makes you still happy?
Hestia encourages the audience member to respond and receives their response.
Did it work?
It's working.
Well, spread the word.
To Madge, who has snuck into the audience by this point.
Well, what about you? What's something that makes you feel at home?
I don't really know.
Well, it doesn't have to be a literal home. It's the feeling of home that matters.
I like music. Singing makes me feel at home.
I can see her. It's a miracle. It's spreading. Brother, come back. Think of the mountains.
And all the rolling hills. Boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada, boom de-yada.
The brothers were reunited.
They celebrate.
And even though they continued working hard to survive, their minds were freed up in some measure. They learned to be present and calm. They learned to see the slant of sunlight coming through the window and let the beauty of this incredible world fill their lives up with small, beautiful moments that made it all worthwhile. Thank you.
The four of them bow quickly and leave the stage. Al returns to the stage and starts disassembling the curtains. Silas, Hestia, and Sophia return to the stage. Very shortly after, having removed or added jackets, changed to a t-shirt, etc. They pack up the props into a box. Sophia takes her guitar and leaves with it. Madge approaches.
Can I help?
What? Oh, sure you can help. Carry this.
What's your name?
Madge.
Nice to meet you, Madge. I'm Silas.
Al.
Hestia over here.
Nice to meet y'all. I think you guys actually know my sister, Josephine. Do you remember her?
The dancer?
Yes, the best dancer.
We tried to reach out to her a couple of years back, but we never heard from her.
Where is she? How is she?
She's still welcome to come along.
Do you all remember that really bad flu that came through here a couple years ago?
Of course. She didn't.
Yeah, she got sick and she passed away. But she loved you guys so much. She talked about it all the time and she wanted to get away with y'all. She really did. And I was wondering if I could come along with you like my sister was going to come along. I'm not a dancer, but I can help. I'll help in any way I can.
Yes, this is wonderful. Finally, someone to help me carry my stuff.
We would have to be sure it was okay with your parents, of course. I mean, you aren't 18 yet, are you? I don't want to assume you...
I'll be 16 in a couple of months. Old enough to hold down a full-time job.
Oh, so are they here?
No, my little sister and I have been living with Josephine's husband, Vincent, but he kind of kicked me out of the house tonight for good.
Do you have any friends you could stay with?
They'd probably just make me go back to Vincent. Honestly, at this point, I'd rather go sleep underneath a tree.
I don't know. It's probably best for you to go back to your family. He'll take you in again, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, even though I could use a hand, I guess you can't just run away with us.
But I don't want to run away. I want to run toward something. Please, I can't.
Madge sputters a bit. She looks desperate.
It's gonna be all right, Madge. Just give me a moment.
To Silas and Al.
Can I talk to y'all for a second?
She pulls Silas and Al to the side.
Silas, I think you should consider not every family is as happy as yours is, you know? I mean, Amelia spent half of her teens running away. And if she hadn't gotten out, I don't know if she would have made it to 20 years old.
Silas considers this.
I guess that's a fair point. We can always ask and see if there's any suspicion of abuse.
This girl doesn't have to be abused to be miserable, Silas. If we don't take her in, who might? I mean, where's she gonna go? I saw the look in her eyes, and to me, it sounds like she's sleeping under a tree tonight.
15 is pretty young to leave home.
It's not too young to run away. I really don't think Josephine would have wanted to see her sister turned away. If Madge can get out of this place, even for the few weeks that she'd be with us, I think we can help this girl out. I think we can do some good. And I, for one, don't want her sleeping on the grass tonight.
I don't want her sleeping on the grass either. I still would like to talk to some folks and make sure everything checks out. But if you feel that strongly about it, Hestia, I have to respect that. I'm down to let her come along.
Thank you, Silas. Thank you. Al, do you think you might see the same?
Why not? I'm really good with anything. I mean, you know me.
Should we call the boss then?
Silas, Hestia, and Sophia cross back over to Madge.
I think I've got these two convinced.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Before any final decision is made, we have to ask Sophia before you can come with us. She's the boss lady around here.
I thought you were the leader.
Just for tonight. We take turns leading the shows.
Sophia, can you come here for a moment?
Sophia enters.
It seems we've got someone here who's been turned away from her family, who doesn't want to go back to them.
Can I come with y'all, please?
We think that might be what's best.
You do understand that this is just temporary, right? When we finish our travels in a few weeks, it will be all over.
I understand. I'll figure out what to do from there. I'll figure something out, and in the meantime, I'll do whatever I can to help.
And you all give your consent?
Yes.
I might want to talk to some folks in town before we head out, but yes, I trust Hestia's judgment.
Me too.
You just want someone to carry your stuff, Al.
That is not true.
Mostly not true.
Guys,
So I can come.
do you promise to be open to learning and never let fear close you off?
I promise.
All right, you can come along with us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
If you have anything to pack, you can gather it and meet us back here in an hour.
Our friend has extra room in her barn. We'll stay there for the night and head out tomorrow morning. We'll need to find you a bike and a water bottle, but I think our friend might be able to help out there.
Thank you so much. I'll meet you back here and I won't disappoint you, I promise.
Blackout, end of scene. Scene 4, a clearing. On one side of the stage, there is a circle of stones and ash. Off stage.
Does that field over there look like a good spot to camp?
I'd say it looks good.
Well, it kind of has to look good because it's going to be dark in about 10 minutes.
Let's hide the bikes in the trees and go to set up camp in that area.
Hestia, Silas, Sophia, Al, and Madge enter, carrying backpacks. Al also brings his bike with him, a large crate drawn behind it with supplies inside. Hestia wanders to the edge of the clearing to find some sticks, maybe with a blanket to wrap them in for easy carrying.
All right, Madge, I'm on water duty. Al and Silas are masters at putting up the tents, and Hestia makes the best campfire around. Since we're sort of short on time, it might be best of you just to sit tight while we set up things as fast as possible.
Al and Silas lift bags out of the crate and start to head off stage.
Are you sure? I can help, really.
I appreciate that, I really do, but just sitting tight might be best.
Hestia comes back with sticks. Al and Silas start to head off stage with tents. Sophia likewise is about to head off with a jug and water filter.
Now we're going to want to put the fire where there aren't many branches overhead. Guys,
Ah!
What?
What is it?
it looks like someone else has camped here, and not too long ago by the looks of it.
I don't like this.
Should we head further into the woods?
We don't really have time.
Do you guys ever have any trouble out here?
Not often, Madge. It's probably nothing. We do occasionally run into refugees heading through here, but most of them are tired and kind.
Although when people mistake us for refugees, or homeless people, or just plain old hippies on a camping trip, they can sometimes be less than kind. Not often, but it has happened once or twice.
So maybe we should go.
Madge, I wish we could, just to be safe, but we need to be setting up camp now if we want to be done before dark. Come on, folks, let's get to work.
Sophia leaves with her jugs and filter. Silas and Al leave with their tent supplies. Hestia goes to work on the fire.
Well, I guess this means you don't have to build up a fire pit. It's already there.
I guess so.
Do you need a hand with anything?
No, I'm good. I've got a whole system worked out. You just take it easy. After your first day of biking, I bet your legs are feeling tired.
Man, they are. I didn't know they could feel this tired, but I do still have some strength left in me to help. Are you sure you don't need anything? I'm really good at building fires.
I don't doubt that, Madge. When we have more time, maybe then you can help.
Well, do you need more wood?
No, Madge, there's plenty right now. I just need to focus and get this going.
Got it.
Sophia enters, carrying a bucket of water.
So you are absolutely sure there's nothing I can do to help?
Yes, Madge, I am sure. But I am not entirely sure that you are listening to me.
Madge, would you like to come over here with me?
Sure. I'm sorry,
You're fine, Madge. You're fine. Just come over here with me and take a nice big breath. And another. You're all right, Madge. You're all right.
Madge does not look all right.
I just wanted to show you guys that I can be useful, and now I've ruined.
You don't have to prove anything, Madge, not with us. We're just here to help you.
Hestia is gonna hate me now, isn't she?
Hestia's got a big heart, trust me. If you apologize sincerely, you'll be fine. But it also doesn't hurt to take this as a lesson to slow down a bit, ground yourself. Stop trying to earn what you already have and open up yourself to listening. Do you think you're up for it?
I'm up for it.
One more breath. It looks like Hestia is about ready with the fire. Once she's got it going, I think it might be a good time to talk to her. Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds nice. And also, I had a question to ask you actually about your music.
Do you like music, Madge?
I never feel more at peace than when I'm singing.
Maybe you can help us out with the music at the next performance. We'll have to ask Hestia. It will be her story next, but I think with your voice, it might be lovely.
End of scene. Act 2, Wildfire. Scene 5 on stage. The scene begins in the dark with the melody of Wayfaring Stranger sung with many parts and harmonies. Hestia and Sophia light candles and hold them under their faces.
Once upon a time, there were two women.
Hestia and Sophia look at each other. Together they act out the beginning of the story with Hestia as the woman strong of heart and body, and Sophia as the woman strong of mind.
And when the women looked at each other, they saw home. Together, the two of them one, together, the two of them. One, strong of heart and body,
The other, strong of mind.
worked to build a small wooden cabin.
They lived a quiet life alongside each other, sharing in each other's company, each other's work, and each other's thoughts.
They lived not too far from a wide river. They filtered the water from the river, bathed in it, and drank from it each day.
The women drink from a jug of water, settling their candles down.
As the second woman's strength waned, her joints turned against her. The first woman took care of her, carried their water, and took their horse into town to buy supplies and sell the goods that they had made and grown. Every night before the woman, strong of heart and body, left, she turned to the other woman and said,
I love you, and I will return.
I will meet you here. Sometimes it took the woman days to finish selling all of their goods.
One night, while the woman strong of heart and body was gone, the woman strong of mind woke to cries far, far off in the distance.
Wildfire! Wildfire!
Run as fast as you can!
What can I do?
Sophia and Hestia are on opposite sides of the stage.
The woman strong of heart and body wasn't there to help. She was on the road returning from town. The fires came racing toward her, and she knew if she could just make it to the river and make it across, she would be safe. She galloped furiously on her horse, and as she saw the smoke on the air, but soon her horse could feel the fire. Both of them could feel the blaze on their backs. The woman was thrown, falling onto the ground, her leg twisted beneath her, but she picked herself up. She began to limp towards the river. She dove in, and she swam across to meet her horse on the other side.
The woman, strong of mind, could not run. She could hardly walk by then. She left their little cabin, carrying a piece of metal work the two women had made together. She sat down in her favorite spot under the trees and waited, thankful for the small amount of time she had left.
Her lights fall dark.
On the other side of the river, the other woman felt neither strong in body nor strong of heart. She felt as though all her bones and muscles had become undone inside her. She could not find the will to move, knowing that the other woman was trapped in the blaze and she could not save her. She fell asleep on the bank of the river. In her dreams, the woman, strong of mind, came to her. She said,
Remember, the flame will always rest within you.
When the woman, strong of body and heart, awoke, she felt burned inside. The river in front of her ran black with ash and soot. She looked out over it, and then she noticed a boatman was waiting for her.
Would you like to cross the river?
Yes, I need to get across. I must get across.
Those who want to cross must pay a price most dear for every step they take in the land of the dead.
I will pay any price. I promised that I would return.
And so they journeyed across.
Silas paddles slowly, eerily. We hear a verse of Wayfarer Stranger hummed in the first line of the chorus.
As the woman walked forward, step by step, into the burned and blackened world of the dead, she felt each precious memory of the other woman burning and then vanishing like ash. That was the price she had to pay.
She kept on going, kept on walking.
Until she saw a figure in the distance.
I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. The woman walked and walked until she reached the figure who she did not recognize.
Do you not know me?
I know you. I know you. You're the woman who came to me in a dream and told me the flame will always rest within you.
Yes, that woman was me. Now let it burn.
Sophia touches her hand to Hestia's forehead. Hestia cries out.
Suddenly, all of her memories came back to her, all filled up with a pain and loss mixed with joy and a blazing light.
Come back. Come back with me, please.
We will see each other soon enough, but I cannot live in that world, but I cannot live in that wonderful land across the river anymore. You must carry on. You must leave this world, but do not pay the boatman's price. He is a false messenger, for not even he can take from you what is inside you. He can never separate me from you. And as long as you carry those memories, our memories, the two of us will walk out of this land together. We will move on from the land of the dead.
The woman, strong of heart and body, held the woman strong of mind one last time. Then she walked, step by step, out of that land. She found the unsuspecting boatman waiting for her. And though her memories burned while she walked alongside him, they did not disappear. She rode with him across the river of soot and ash and carried on.
Once more, we hear Wayfarer Strangers hummed by the group. End of scene. Scene 6, another clearing. Hestia, Sophia, Madge, and Silas are circled around, eating out of mugs or small bowls with spoons. Maybe there's some logs for sitting. Al has a mug or bowl in his hand, but works on preparing the midday meal.
All right, everybody got some beans now? Thank you, Silas, by the way, for providing the beans.
The land provides.
Now, sandwiches!
Al looks in a bag, or maybe in a creative, his bike is on stage.
That's strange.
What?
Well, I'm not seeing them. I could have sworn there was some left over after dinner last night.
Bear got them.
Raccoon, more likely.
Or maybe someone snuck back for seconds?
I don't think anyone snuck back for seconds. Maybe we can just be content with what we have? How about that?
I think I really am fine with just the beans.
See, Madge is setting a fine example.
Our little music maker.
Yep, that she is.
Yes, you did wonderfully at the show.
I'm just happy to help, really.
I actually had an idea, a sort of challenge or invitation, take it how you will. I thought it might be nice if Madge here tells her own story.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
You'd be great at it.
I'm not good at stuff like that. I'm not creative like Josephine was. I can't spin new stories out of choreography. I just sort of sing music that other people have written. I've never made anything up that's new.
Oh, nonsense. Didn't you ever play house as a kid? Or pretend you were a superhero? Everyone's made up stories.
I mean, sure, but they weren't any good.
I don't buy that.
You could always tell your own story, Madge. It's what I did.
Your story? But you couldn't travel to the underworld.
Okay, so the stuff with the boatman and the land of the dead was a bit embellished. The boatman was my neighbor Cricket, who is not vaguely reminiscent of figures from Greek mythology. But everything before that part was true. I really did lose someone I loved in a forest fire. It's the most brutal thing I've ever been through. You know, apparently I'm feeling my feelings a lot today. It's fine, I'm fine.
Why would you ever want to relive something like that?
Because telling stories can help us heal. They can help us make sense of the darkest things we've seen and felt and lived. And they can help the people we love to carry on with us.
What was her name?
Amelia. She's been gone for a long time now.
I don't think I could tell a story of loss as beautiful as yours, Hestia. I've never lived through a forest fire. I wasn't even there when my family passed away. And I mean, the world is kind of a mess. A lot of people have been through a lot more than me. Your stories are more important than mine.
We each carry something different. It's our responsibility to do our best to work with it. Maybe someone else is carrying something that looks a lot like what you carry.
Maybe I could talk about home and how I'm still trying to figure out what that is.
That might be a really nice thing to explore, Madge. Although I know this may be hard for you to hear, but I really do think it would be a good idea for you to go back to your folks when you're done traveling. You've got your little sister to think of. Your brother-in-law?
You mean my caregiver. Never brother-in-law, never brother, always caregiver.
We can help you if you decide to go back. We can help you explain how you feel.
I don't know what good that will do, especially if he refuses to listen.
This isn't just on him. You need to learn to treat yourself with enough respect that his disrespect cannot touch you.
I don't think it works that way.
Well, have you tried?
I don't know. It's just I always thought I was bad at following orders, but it's not that. I respect all of you, and I'm more than happy to do whatever you guys ask me to do. But Vincent has lost any respect I once had for him, and every single time he tries to order me around, I just lose it. I don't know how to pretend to respect someone that I just can't respect. I don't know how to separate the part of myself that I actually like from this deeply angry part of me without separating myself from him.
Maybe you can put what you feel into a story, Madge, a tale.
See, this is exactly what we've been saying.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I should try to deal with it, process some stuff.
Have you let him know you're safe yet?
Vincent? I left a note with Gracie letting her know I was leaving with people I trusted. She would have been able to reassure him.
All the same, at the next town, I think it would be a good idea if you sent him a message. You should have let him know earlier.
He doesn't need to know where I am.
If not for him, then for Gracie. They deserve the peace of mind to know that you're safe.
You're right. The next town we're in, I'll send him a message. If I can get a signal, that is. There's never any service out here.
We'll see if anyone knows some good spots in the next town to get a call through.
Thanks.
Thank you, Madge. Thank you for being open to what we've had to say.
So I really can tell my story? You don't think it's going to be the worst thing ever written in the history of humanity?
You'll be great.
And we can help you,
You may need a little bit more practice.
but we can help you out there too.
Maybe in the next performance, you can join in the telling of my story.
I think I'd like that.
Scene 7. Vincent stands in an undefined space.
Josephine was the best thing that ever happened to me. She was in town visiting a childhood friend who'd married one of my cousins. My aunt and uncle were having a big meal for the summer solstice with music and a bonfire. She told me later that she didn't know anyone else at the party, so when she left the conversation with her friend, she found herself drifting. She asked if she could pet my dog Ralph, and I told her, absolutely. I had seen her earlier that night, and I kept seeing her and wanting to talk to her. She was kinder than I could have imagined. The next time she came to visit, I spent all week at my cousin's house, and I realized I never wanted to say goodbye to this incredible girl. I went back to her town with her, and I met her family. Cute little sisters. Their parents were two of the nicest folks I've met in my life. When they got sick, I absolutely supported Josephine going to take care of them. I was happy to take care of Madge and Gracie. None of us knew how bad the flu was going to be that year. I'd gotten so used to the routine of waking up next to Josephine that every morning our empty bed seemed as big as the sea. We'd planned so many things. We'd planned a whole life together. The last thing I told Josephine was that I would take care of her sisters, and I'm trying so hard. Gracie is a little sweetheart, but Madge is so wild that sometimes it terrifies me. I love her, but I don't know how to keep her safe from herself, and now I've messed everything up. For the first few days after she ran away, I felt so hollow I couldn't think. Gracie said she left a note saying she was with friends, so every morning I expected to see her walking back home. When I realized she left town completely, I called my parents to come and stay with Gracie because I have to go look for Madge. I have to find her. But I'm terrified that I've failed her, and she's off God knows where. I need to find her. I need to find her and bring her back. I need to save her. If I don't at least try, then I've already failed Josephine.
End of scene. Act 3, Light as Air. Scene 8, once again in a forest or clearing. Hestia, Al, Sophia, and Madge stand around, ready to practice with Al.
All right. For my story, let's do the old one with the inventor and his son.
Not the stupid one with the sexist king.
It's not that bad.
He tries to give her away like she's his property.
Okay, it is that bad. But I think it's still a good option because instead of me switching back and forth between the inventor and his son, we can just have Madge play the son. It's perfect.
Are you comfortable playing a boy, Madge?
You get to be the hero of the story.
I'm fine with being a boy.
Fantastic. Now, I'd like to make 2 magic flying boats. I can make them out of sticks and some of the tissue paper I brought. But if we could swing by the city and grab some pantyhose and shellac and...
Whoa, slow down there, buddy.
I really don't think it's a good idea to head into the city.
Can you at least let me finish talking?
Al's right. Let's not just shut things down immediately. He deserves a discussion.
That may be, but the cities around here are not built for bikes, Al. I mean, I'd be happy to stop by a bigger town or a suburb, but I don't plan to head into one of the 2 biggest cities in the state. That's just too much.
Heading to our next town, we're going to have to go out of our way to get around the city. Besides, maybe we could perform a show there? I've got plenty of contacts there through my sculpture work.
There are more than enough theater troupes in town, Al.
Not for everyone.
Even in the tent cities, there are theater troupes. It's the folks out in the rural areas that always get left out and made to feel ignorant for not making use of resources that don't exist.
You just don't feel comfortable in the city, Silas.
Al, no personal attacks.
Well, at the very least, I think it's fair to say Silas's opinions are biased by what he's used to.
As are yours.
You're used to the resources available in the cities.
Available for some folks in the cities.
Why don't we ask Madge what she thinks? She's a part of our troupe now.
I'm kind of biased like Silas. I mean, I've been to the city before to visit my grandparents when I was little, but I kind of hated it. There's so much traffic and chaos. Everyone's connected, but not to each other. So I'm good to stay out of the city.
How integral to the play is the boat being constructed, how you ideally want it to be constructed, instead of with some tissue paper and sticks?
Well, I mean, if it breaks, it will definitely take people out of the story.
We can be really careful with this boat to minimize any chances that it breaks. Maybe we can even just pretend that there's a boat, but not build anything. We've done that before.
Are there any safety issues? Any problem with just miming the boats?
No, not really. I guess the construction supplies are not that important then, but I was thinking we could also stock up on other supplies.
Is there anything you want to grab in a city that you really need and can't find in a small town?
Well, I was hoping for some non-dairy ice cream.
If we don't have to bother with a long, chaotic trip into the city, I personally promise to buy you some sherbet. Deal?
It's not the same. But I guess it's good enough. Deal, I'll drop it.
Oh, fantastic. I didn't mean for that to sound so happy.
Huh.
Let's get back to rehearsal, guys.
That sounds like a plan.
We'll want to have everything nice and polished for Madge's first official performance.
Scene 9, on stage. Silas, Hestia, Sophia, Alan, Madge are on stage in costumes. Sophia, instead of holding her guitar, holds some kind of percussive instrument. Maybe a washboard, maybe sticks in a pan.
Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, gentlefolk, and kiddos all around. We hope that you enjoy the story we have to share with you. It is a magical tale, full of mystery and wonder. It goes like this. Once upon a time, long, long ago, before internet, or computers, or planes, or trains, or automobiles, or anything like that, there lived a kind of kooky king.
Silas steps forward.
I need someone to marry my only daughter so they can become the next king.
Apparently the daughter doesn't have any say in this.
Hey, it was a long, long time ago.
And we're just going to keep perpetuating the idea that women are property.
You said you wouldn't do this.
I did say that, didn't I?
Fine. You know what? Once upon a time, a long, long ago, there was a very mean and backward king. Better?
Much.
I'm going to force my daughter to marry whoever I want. The only problem is I don't really approve of anyone because my 13-year-old daughter is precious and wonderful.
So you're going to give her a choice about who she wants to marry?
No, never. I'm going to do what kings in these types of stories do. I'm going to set an impossible task, and any man who wants to win her will have to prove himself by completing this impossible task.
And it has to be a man, right?
Yes, my willful and precious daughter.
Silas scoops Hestia up in a tight and squishing hug.
Because we live in a time long, long ago before the internet or computers or planes or trains or automobiles or anything like that. It has to be a man.
Wow, I don't know what any of that stuff is, Father, but I know it is my duty as princess to make a politically advantageous marriage. I will marry whomever completes this impossible task and do as you say, as long as it is a man who completes the task.
Very good, daughter.
But Father...
Yes, daughter. You aren't going to argue anymore, are you?
No, I think I'm done. Only Father, what is this impossible task?
I'm glad you asked. The person who will win your heart, he must come here to the city and build a flying machine.
Wow, that sounds difficult. I'm totally going to die alone.
Probably. Now, all of you there, do any of you think you can win my daughter's hand in marriage? Do you, sir? Do you? Well, good luck building a giant flying ship.
Now, in the same kingdom where the mean old king and his spirited daughter lived, there was also a famous but common inventor and his young son.
Al steps forward, making on the persona of the inventor. Madge steps forward as the son. Maybe her hair is pulled up into a hat.
They started out as poor, poor peasants who would never have stood any chance at becoming royal.
The son's mom had died when she was pretty little, but before she passed on to the next life, she told her son to always be open to what others have to teach you.
At one point, the inventor knew this lesson too and treated people well. But unfortunately, he became a little bit wacky after his wife passed away. He wasn't crazy enough to, think his son was property to be given away or anything, but he did get a bit worked up.
Al acts out the inventor tinkering and working.
Death terrified him, and he refused to die in obscurity as his wife had done. So he worked and worked to make a name for himself. He was scared by the passage of time and fearful that he might pass away before his work was done.
Daddy, are you going to have time to play today?
If you want us to move on above our station, I must keep working. I must finish this project.
Okay, I'll just go play with my inventor's kit, I guess.
Good. Yes, grow stronger. The inventor had a habit of working so much, he got stuck in his head. Still, his work grew better, and he became more and more famous.
Oh my gosh, he's so famous.
Wow.
So smart.
But all of that kind of got to his head.
A lot.
Still, he really wasn't evil or anything, just ambitious and a bit distracted. When he heard about the competition to build a flying machine and win the king's daughter, he didn't realize the daughter was around his son's age, because that would have been creepy. Well, maybe not at that time, but now it would definitely be creepy. So anyway, we're going to say this inventor didn't know how old the girl was, and he heard about this contest.
Build a flying machine. You good enough, huh? You good enough?
I'm good enough. If I manage to build this, then my name will be remembered forever. To compete in the contest, the inventor had to travel to the city. He worked and worked. He made a crazy boat thing.
Silas lies down to become the boat. Maybe Al sits on the boat slightly less gently than he should have.
Now, all I need to make this fly is a drum roll.
To the audience.
Can you help us with a drum roll?
Sophia starts the drum roll and all on stage continue it.
Can we try that again? Come on.
Again, Al tries to get the boat to lift.
One more time. I really think it's going to work this time.
Al tries to get the boat to lift one more time. It fails.
Well, this sucks. The inventor was defeated, and he was angry. Then suddenly an older woman with no possessions to her name walked by the space where he was working.
You seem quite frustrated.
Go away, you old lady. Can't you see I'm trying to work here?
Al messes with his boat contraption one more time, gets mad, and drags it, Silas, to one side of the stage, re-entering a moment later.
The inventor returned home, disgraced.
Did you make the flying contraption? Are we going to go live in a castle?
No, I didn't make it work. Thanks for asking.
Well, maybe I can build it.
But you're just a child.
I'm the same age as the king's daughter.
Wow, really? That could have been awkward.
Can I go to the city and try to build a flying machine?
You'll probably die on the road there, but whatever. I'm a failure, and I need to go wallow in my despair. So do whatever you want.
Fantastic.
The son went to the city, managing to survive on the road by relying on the kindness of strangers. He went to his father's workshop, and outside it, he saw an older woman with no possessions to her name.
Do you have any food?
I wish I could help you. I have been relying on the kindness of strangers to feed myself. But if I manage to make a flying contraption, I'll be able to marry the princess, and I can help as many people eat as I want. I could feed the whole kingdom.
That sounds wonderful.
Do you know anything about making a flying machine?
As a matter of fact, I do.
The woman did a strange dance. Then the inventor's son followed her movements, and suddenly a flying machine appeared. Whee!
Sophia does a bit of a weird enchantment dance thing. Madge imitates this dance and Al becomes a flying machine, maybe lying on his stomach facing upstage with his arms stretched out like wings and his feet kicked up like a steering contraption.
Wow.
All they need now was a drum roll. Will it work?
Sophia and the other players lead the audience in the drum roll. The trill continues into flight.
I'm flying.
You're flying!
Thank you for all your help.
Quick, fly to the king's castle.
There it is.
Silas and Hestia arrive, stepping back into their characters.
I need to land this thing. How do I land?
The drum beat slows.
Oh, phew, coming down.
Madge lands and goes to confront the king.
Ha! I have built a flying machine.
Gesturing to the audience.
They all saw it. It totally works.
No! How could someone have completed the impossible task? And you're just a child. You are way too young to get married.
Well, I'm the same age as your daughter.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I guess I'll have to keep my word, even with a commoner. When you come of age, after the two of you have had time to get to know each other, you can marry.
If I'm okay with it.
Fine, but only because he is a commoner.
Well, young inventor, if you can make a flying machine, I bet you know a lot about governing a country, public policy, foreign policy, all that.
Oh, no, definitely don't know anything about ruling. Good thing you do?
Yep. As the daughter of a king, I know all there is to know about ruling a kingdom.
Yeah, you should probably handle most of that stuff, not the commoner, kiddo.
But the son can still present ideas, right?
Sure he can, if I like the ideas, and I like him.
The princess and the inventor's son had to wait a few years, but eventually everyone lived happily ever after. The son tried to go back and find the woman who helped him so he could thank her for her kindness, but he could never manage to track her down. Instead, the son talked with the ruling queen of the land. Together, they worked hard to be sure that every single person in the kingdom had a home and food. And
They
they were the best, most benevolent rulers the kingdom had ever known. The end.
Blackout, end of scene. Scene 10. Laughter is heard before the lights come up. Silas, Hestia, Sophia, Al, and Madge sit around their campfire on rocks or logs. Sleepiness is in the air. Sophia has her guitar near her, and the bike with the tents is set in front of the stage to one side.
You did a wonderful job, Madge. Who knew you were such a performer?
Brava, brava!
Thanks, guys.
Oh, don't think we're going to let you out of telling your own story now.
Have you been working on it? Do you have any ideas?
I do have some ideas. I think I might do what Hestia did a bit. Embellish so it works better as a story.
Ain't no shame in embellishing.
We can start practicing your performance tomorrow before the show.
And did you manage to talk to your brother as well? You do owe him at least one call.
I tried. I promised, but no one picked up. I did leave him a message, and I managed to talk to a neighbor who said she'd be sure to let him know I'm safe the next time she saw him.
That's definitely a step in the right direction.
I am a bit sad, though. Even though I wasn't exactly looking forward to talking to Vincent, I wanted to try to talk to Gracie. I wanted to tell her all about the adventures I've had with you guys.
That sounds nice.
A scavenging sound is heard just off stage.
Is that an animal?
Doesn't sound like one.
Silas goes off stage. There's a scuffle. Silas drags on a ragged-looking young woman. Madge runs and hides behind Al.
Don't hurt me! Don't hurt me!
I guess I know where those sandwiches went.
And where the campfires came from.
What do you want, friend?
Please, I only wanted some food.
Calm down. Stop struggling.
Why, so you can beat me like the others?
I don't want to beat you, friend. Just calm down.
You're safe here.
What? What's going on?
What kind of food would you like? We have plenty.
What? You're not gonna beat me for taking your food?
Silas releases the young woman.
Everyone deserves a meal. Sit down, please.
Jamie does not sit down. Sophia goes to get some food.
What's going on?
It looks like our new friend is a coastal refugee.
Our new friend?
She may look a little scrappy, but I don't think she's going to hurt us.
Who are you people?
We're a troupe of actors.
No, really.
Really, we are. I know it sounds strange, but we travel around here every other year. I'm from the area. We visit towns and tell stories.
We've got a curtain and props in our bag if you don't believe us.
What is your name, friend?
Jamie?
Sophia returns with some food.
My name is Silas. This is Al, Hestia, Madge, and Sophia.
The others might have to wave or say hello as they're introduced.
Jamie, please take some food. Make yourself comfortable. Sit down, you're welcome here.
Thank you.
Hesitantly, Jamie takes a seat and starts to eat some food.
If you need a place to rest tonight, Jamie, you're welcome to stay with us.
Quietly to Al, perhaps not quietly enough.
That's safe.
Would you ask that about me? I was in her situation once.
But we don't really know her.
Hestia and Sophia share a significant look.
Madge, come with me.
Madge follows Sophia off to one side of the stage. The others sit around the fire.
I know you aren't meaning to, but I think you may be deeply hurting that young woman's feelings with your distrust.
It's just weird. Her showing up like this, taking our food. My parents always said you shouldn't trust these people.
You could have very easily have been in the same spot had you run off on your own. She's just a person, Madge, like you or me, and she deserves to be treated with some dignity. Got it?
I understand. I'll be good.
Sophia guides Madge back to the fire.
Go on, Madge. Always walk with gratitude and invitation.
So, where are you from, Jamie?
Down in Alabama?
We're neighbors. I'm from Atlanta.
Did the hurricane force you out?
I left before it hit. A bus dropped a group of us off near Nashville, but they didn't have any room for us in the city. Too many coasties already there. I've been walking for, I don't know how many days now, hoping there will be somewhere that won't turn me away. Didn't expect to find a theater troupe out here, that's for sure. Thank y'all, by the way. Thank y'all deeply for the food.
You are very welcome.
Miss, is that your guitar over there?
You've spotted another piece of our traveling show.
Sophia, you should play a song. Show Jamie how lovely you can play.
I don't really perform.
You perform all the time?
Just with these folks. Back home, I'm more of a physician than a musician. I use music and art to help people heal.
That's really beautiful.
Thanks, Jamie. I hope you understand. It's not that I don't want to play a song for you. It's just I feel strange performing, not unless it's in the service of others.
Well, ma'am, maybe I might play a song. Good healing tune.
You play guitar?
For most of my life.
Be my guest.
Sophia gives the guitar to Jamie. She strums it and the others watch. She starts to play.
When peace like a river tend on my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll. It is well. I've been singing that song to myself for a long time now. Trying to make peace.
Has it worked?
Not really. Too much walking to do. But if y'all ever need a second guitar player in your troupe.
Jamie, your music is wonderful. And it sounds like playing music might be what you want to do most right now, but we're only traveling for a couple of more weeks at this point.
Oh.
I might be able to help you find something that might be more lasting. Work, Jamie, a permanent place to stay. I know some nice farmers in the area.
I don't have much farming experience.
Well, we can teach you. I'll give you their names and a recommendation.
You'd do that for someone you just met?
Absolutely. It's hard work, but they're always willing to give people a chance. I just wish we had another bike so you could travel on with us.
Oh. I guess I didn't think about that. Y'all don't have a car or anything then?
We're non-traditional. For us, the journey is just as important as the destination. So we bike around these old highways.
Guess that means I've got a lot more walking to do.
If you take this highway northeast to exit 62, ask for Hazelfield Farm and tell them that Silas sent you. It's probably about 70 miles from here. Definitely a few days walk.
I'll keep that in mind.
Would you like some more food, Jamie?
No, I better keep on moving. I don't belong here. I thank y'all for the food and for your kindness, but I better keep on moving.
We thank you for your music and your company, Jamie.
Hope y'all sleep tight.
Jamie exits.
Speaking of sleep, let's head on to bed.
They put out the fire, all exit. Lights fade, soft noises heard by the bike. Hestia arrives there with a lantern or a flashlight, illuminating Jamie by the bike.
What the?
Don't run. Here. Don't take that bike. We've got another one without a crate on the back. Madge can ride the crate if you leave that one here. Take one of the lighter bikes.
But
don't argue. I'm disappointed in you, you know. You should have just asked, man. You should have just asked.
You're going to let me take it?
I'll get you some food, too. Wherever the need's greatest.
I don't know how to thank you.
Be better next time.
Hestia turns the flashlight off. End scene. Scene 11. Silas, Hestia, Sophia, Al, and Madge are getting ready to leave in the morning, wrapping up blankets and packing away supplies.
What do you mean I have to ride in a crate?
Just be glad Silas is strong enough to drag you behind him. It's going to be a long, hard ride for him. You just have to sit and hold the food supplies.
You know, I don't mind at all, really. I'm used to long days and working hard.
Hestia, why did you give my bike away?
It wasn't your bike to begin with. It was given to you freely by the kindness of strangers. And Jamie needed transportation more than you did.
To be fair, Madge, she had been traveling around for a long time.
Guess it would be really nice to have a bike if you were stuck traveling out here all alone. If you were tired and needed to get to shelter, I'd probably take any chance I could to get off my feet and onto a bike, even if it did mean taking it, because, I mean, it can be really hard to ask people for help, especially with something that big.
You're right, Madge. Asking for help isn't easy, and neither is what you are doing now. You've been told something all your life, and now you're seeing something else entirely.
We've watched you struggling.
We've watched you growing.
And we are incredibly proud of you.
End of scene. Act 4, Washed by the Water. Scene 12. Silas, Hestia, Sophia, Al, and Madge stand on stage ready to perform. Sophia is near the front of stage. Al and Madge are off to one side, not far behind her. Maybe they're playing a game.
Once there was a small town along a seaside. It was a magical place filled with spirits and enchantment.
It is pretty awesome.
I love playing and seeing what magical mischief we can get up to.
Hey, be careful.
Loosen up, big brother.
Every generation, a person was born whose destiny was to act as a servant to the magical beings called the guardians of the sea and sky. You are that chosen person.
What? Me?
How do you know he's the chosen one?
Because I'm the wisest person in town and I choose him.
Well, what do I have to do to serve the guardians of sea and sky?
On a night with a full moon, when the sea and sky are at their closest point, you must go to the shores of this village and offer up a gift of song. Then you just swim 35 feet into the ocean. From there, you will be pulled down further and further.
What? No, you want him to drown?
Of course not. Those who successfully cross that threshold will surface on the other side of the ocean, in the mirror world where the guardians of sea and sky pass their days.
But how do you know this place actually exists and that he won't just die?
I don't want to die.
You'll be fine. Every generation, there's the threat of a terrible storm, and every time the servant has been sent to the guardians, it all turns out fine. So we know the servant made it.
I guess that makes sense.
Well, except the times that the storm still came, then the servant didn't make it.
What?
By the way, tomorrow night is the last night of this month with a full moon, and also the largest storm in the history of the earth will probably hit our shores sometime next week. So be prepared to head out tomorrow night. Bye.
This is stupid and I don't like it.
I mean, I guess I have to do it.
But you're not just my brother. You're my best friend and I can't lose you.
We all have to make sacrifices.
But we can always dare to do something new. I have an idea. Tonight, when the tides are at their highest point, the two of us together, we can cross over to this mirror world. We can have a word or two with these magical guardian beings. Maybe they'll let you stay here with all your friends.
I guess it's worth a shot.
The brother and sister headed to a high cliff where they and their friends often dove into the ocean.
Silas and Hestia form a line of waves, maybe with their arms or streamers or fabric.
What gift of song should we offer up?
It should be a song of the sea and sky.
There's that old lullaby song my mom used to sing to us.
That was very beautiful.
Thank you.
If we die, I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too, big bro. Now let's dive.
Al and Madge jump beneath the line of water. They start swimming. Sophia starts strumming an underwatery tune.
Their dive carried them deep. They swam and swam.
They swam until their limbs grew tired.
We need to tell them they can make it.
You got it, guys.
You can do this. Come on.
Woo! There are cheers. Let them go on for at least a beat or two.
And then they surfaced.
Al and Madge resurface, the line of water now up to their chest.
We made it.
Did we? It looks the same.
Well, it is a mirror world. Maybe it's supposed to look the same?
The two friends swam to the beach where they found the guardians of the sea and sky waiting for them.
Hestia and Silas become these beings. Maybe they throw the fabric or streamers around themselves like scarves. At this point, Sophia might alter her tune to one of background enchantment.
Well, 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 what a surprise. Two
of them. We haven't had two guests.
Like,
Ever.
Go on now. We have to stand up for yourself.
Al approaches the magical beings.
Thanks, magical beings, for having me here and everything. But I don't really want to leave my little sister or my friends. But I also don't want a giant storm to destroy our village.
Please don't take my brother away.
You mean you
don't want to stay with us?
Well,
Madge pokes him.
I'd really rather prefer to stay up there with the people I know. I'll be lonely without them.
Well, don't you think?
We get lonely too?
I mean, that's the main reason we have people come up here. Obviously.
Wait, so you've been threatening to destroy our village with a giant storm once every generation just because you're lonely?
What?
Oh, no.
We haven't been threatening anything.
We don't control the weather. We are one with the sea.
And the sky. We have some limited influence through our mirror connection, but like humans, we are caught up in that which is beyond us.
We do not have complete control over our situations.
Weather comes
and
we must weather it.
Wait, if you can't control the weather, then what about this giant storm that's coming to destroy us?
Oh, we can't stop that.
Nope. Can't do much there.
What?
We need to get back and warn everyone.
Wait! You don't really want to leave us, do you?
I mean, we tried to treat our visitors right. We never threatened them we never treated them like servants. And it helped everyone up there feel like they were in control of the situation.
People like
to feel like they're in control. And if it didn't work, people had someone to blame.
Hey, I don't want to be blamed.
Besides, it wasn't actually helping, was it?
No.
It wasn't.
That's why we've got to go back and warn everyone.
Well,
you can't.
Why not?
There's an ancient magic in the arrival of a servant to our shores.
That person can never leave.
So we're stuck here?
I can't leave, but maybe you can. Can she go back and warn people? She just tagged along for moral support.
He was kind of terrified.
But she's not a servant. Can she cross back?
No idea.
It's worth a try.
But I don't want to leave you.
I'm not worth losing everyone else in the village.
You sell yourself short. I think you might be worth staying here.
Sis, we may not be able to control the storm, but we can control what we do about it. You've got to go back and warn everyone.
I'll visit you, I promise. Once everyone is safe and the storm has passed, I'll come back.
They found a cliff, the mirror of the one they had jumped off in their own land.
Will you all help me offer up the gift?
Of course.
Absolutely. We will.
We will.
I guess this is goodbye, at least for now.
Bye, sis.
She dove and swam until she reached the surface. Then she swam to shore.
I have to find someone. I have to warn everyone. He's done it. He's gone to serve the guardians of the sea and sky.
Fantastic! We're safe now.
No, we're not.
But the guardians are all powerful.
They're a lot more like us than you'd think. They've been asking for servants to come to their land because they're lonely there, and they knew it made us feel like we were in control of the situation.
But that's nonsense.
I'm sorry. We're not safe. We've got to go.
She tried to convince every person she could. She returned to her parents.
Madge walks over to Silas and Hestia.
Mom, Dad, we've got to go. We have to leave. There's a storm coming.
But where's your brother?
He's with the guardians now.
They picked up their things and left. Some people left on foot, some on boats, some in boats. It rained for 1,000 days and 1,000 nights until the highest mountains became tiny islands.
Madge, Silas, and Hestia stand close as though bunched up on a tiny scrap of land.
There, The members of the village waited.
As many of my friends and neighbors as I could convince.
Weather comes, and we must weather it.
Tonight, for the first time in a long time, the rain stopped. Now we wait for it to slowly drain, if it will drain at all. I wait for the day that I will find my brother once more. I will stand atop a cliff, now deep beneath the sea, and I will sing the lullaby our mother sang to us when we were children. Sweet and low, wind of the western sea. Low, low, breathe and blow, wind of the western sea. Thank you, Mom. For now, I'm glad to see the end of the rain and to know that we are safe.
We are all safe now.
The end.
Blackout. There's a thud and Silas cries out.
Oh!
Lights up. Vincent is standing on stage with a knife. Silas clutches at his arm. Madge screams.
Madge, get over here.
No, what's going on?
Do you see what these people have done? They have kidnapped this girl, and I promised her sister I'd keep her safe. I promised. She's my responsibility.
What have you done to Silas?
I'll be fine, Madge. It's just a scratch. Sophia can help me. She's the best healer I know.
Al, Hestia, and Sophia approach Vincent cautiously. He reacts like a cornered animal.
Calm down. It's all right. No one has taken anyone else involuntarily.
Get away from me. I'm not afraid to defend myself. I'm not.
Lay down the knife, please. Let's talk through this calmly.
No.
He lunges. From the audience, seemingly from nowhere, Jamie jumps up and pulls Vincent back. She wrestles the knife from him, throws it on the ground, and restrains him.
You will not hurt these kind people.
It's all right. It's all right, Vincent. Let's talk.
Stop struggling.
I'll save you, Madge.
No one has been kidnapped. You told me not to come back. They took me in.
Well, I'm taking you back now.
Listen, Madge, maybe it's best if you go back with him. Go back to your sister. I think you're ready.
Wait, Vincent. Just be quiet for a moment. Breathe with me. Calm down.
Why should I listen to you? You're brainwashed.
Because Vincent, because I am a person worthy of respect. And if you won't respect me, I will respect myself. Just slow down for a moment, Vincent. Let's take this calmly.
Vincent starts to relax.
I asked to travel with them, just like Josephine asked to travel with them. And she wasn't brainwashed either. Vincent, I want to show you and everyone here what has been going on from my perspective. I want to tell my own story with the help of these folks.
What?
I have my own story to tell, like the one we just told here. Please, give me a chance to explain. Maybe afterward you will let me finish out these travels, and if not, I'll have been heard, and that will be enough.
I don't know, Madge. I don't know what's best. I just want to help you, but no one ever taught me how to do this.
I've been trying to tell you this whole time. All you have to do is listen.
All right, Madge, I'll listen. I'm sorry for not listening before.
Are you all right with one more story? One more?
Here.
Quickly, Sophia bandages up Silas's arm. Jamie takes Vincent's knife and puts it away safely. She takes him off the stage. They sit in the audience. Silas, Hestia, Al, Sophia, and Madge stand ready to tell one last story, half inventing it as they go.
In ancient times, there lived 3 sisters.
Hestia, Sophia, and Madge form the 3 sisters. Hestia crouches down and Sophia stands tall, showing Madge in the center as the middle sister.
They loved each other and their life together. They were happy, even as the forests around them crumbled. They played pretend together and were always in each other's company.
The 3 of them circle around and skip.
Then the oldest sister fell in love. She moved away from the others, leaving them with their parents.
We're gonna miss you, sissy.
Yes, we'll miss you very much. But we also love you. and are happy for you.
Sophia goes to join Al, who portrays Vincent.
But then their parents fell ill. It was terrible to watch, to see the people you've always assumed were invincible, the people who were always supposed to be there, wasting away.
We can't save them.
And even worse, they can't save themselves.
I'll come back home and take care of them. I don't want you two to fall sick like they have. Go stay with my husband, and if anything happens to us, you can stay with him.
I promise I won't ever let anything happen to you.
Sophia goes to tend the parents.
They have to get better. I have to make them feel better, but I feel so weak. I don't.
She falls.
Come, help, they're dead. They're all dead.
A neighbor discovered that the sister and the parents had all passed into the next life. They were just bodies now, breaking down into dirt. The younger sister would never receive a hug from their older sister, their mom, or their dad, ever again. They would never hear them whisper,
I love you.
After their family was laid to rest, they went to live with their brother-in-law. Although he was not much older than the sisters, he acted more like an uncle than a brother. He was a good man. He tried, but he let fear control him. Can I go out and play?
You're too old to play. Act like an adult.
Can I go out and play?
You're too young to play. It's not safe.
Can we do anything?
Just stay safe.
One day, the girl and her caretaker had a fight. I want to be free. I want to go beyond the city wall. I want to see the world that my older sister saw and meet those fantastic spirits.
If you go beyond the city wall, then you cannot come back here.
Fine, but I'm not coming back. The little girl snuck back into the night to grab her things, and then she left. She soon found herself in an enchanted forest beyond the town's limits. She thought she was all grown up, but she had a lot to learn, especially if she was to survive in this forest.
Sophia plays a background melody of enchantment. She, Silas, Hestia, and Al circle around Madge, and then Silas steps forward.
If you want to survive in this forest, you must learn the ways of the spirits.
Who are you?
I am the spirit of the earth. Do you think yourself worthy of learning the ways of the land?
I'd like to be worthy.
Then you must learn to sit with the earth. Can you feel it beneath you? Can you feel it pulling you down?
I think I feel it.
Connect with it. Let it teach you the art of stillness.
I feel so small, like an ant on top of the earth.
Now breathe with everything around you.
I am stillness. I am calm. My problems are so small, and there is time passing gracefully, turning just like the earth. I feel it.
Madge and Silas perform a slow, stomping dance, low to the ground. Sophia taps out a beat on her guitar.
Good, very good. But there is more to learn.
Hestia comes forward with 2 candles, one of them lit.
I am the spirit of fire and sun and hearth.
Madge kneels down.
I respect your destructive powers.
Yes, I can be destructive, but I also bring life and warmth and nourishment. Feel the sun on your face.
Hestia lights the candle for Madge.
It's so warm, the fire, the sunlight.
Feel that power that brought the plants up from the earth, that draws the leaves toward it. It feeds those plants, which in turn feed us and feed the animals that nourish us. Feel that sun's power in yourself.
I can feel the warmth in my own chest.
Yes.
I am powerful. I am life. I carry within me heat and memory and will.
Very good.
Madge and Hestia perform another short dance, hands jutting out forcibly. Kicks show inner power forced outward. During this brief dance, Sophia plays the guitar, something with a bit of a flamenco flavor to it, perhaps.
You now hold within you earth and fire, but you must learn to temper these elements with their opposites. You must hold balance within yourself.
Al comes spinning forward.
I am the spirit of the air, and flight, and everything rising up. Feel the air all around you. Feel its weightlessness. Feel the air beneath your body. Let it lift you up.
Feel the breeze across my hands. I feel the air flowing out of my breath.
Let it fill up your lungs and carry you away.
I have learned to be centered and to be still. I don't want to lose that completely. How can I stay connected to the still earth, but also learn to dance on the air?
Well, I was always terrible at staying still, but I found that was all right, as long as I got outside of my own mind. You see, being centered is fine and all. Just don't become too centered in yourself. Let yourself become light, flow out, and see through the eyes of another person.
Al places his fingertips on Madge's temples, and she places her fingertips on his temple as well.
My spirit is calm and centered, but my imagination and my heart can still fly wild.
Whee!
Al and Madge perform a light, spinning, joyful dance with Sophia playing a bright major melody. Then Sophia steps forward, pure calm.
Come now. There is one more lesson to learn. The lesson of the river.
Madge bows.
Please teach me to be better.
Come, stand by these waters. Watch them flowing infinitely. All the water in this earth is caught up in a giant moving cycle beyond us. So too are we caught up in that which is beyond us. The Sun Spirit teaches of the power within you, but be open to change and growth and that continuous flow of water. We are never done making ourselves into better selves. We are never done becoming who we are, better creatures. We must always float onward and let the darkness inside of us float away.
Slowly, they circle around each other, a calm, flowing dance.
I hope to make you proud.
Madge walks to a prominent spot to deliver her final monologue.
Wait, dear child, I have one last lesson for you.
What? Oh, yes, wise spirit?
I just want you to know that it's all right to not be all right all the time. When you go back to the city, you might not be as happy as you are here, and that's okay. I have seen you so angry and frustrated with yourself for not being able to stay calm and contented. But it's not always healthy or even possible to stay happy and positive all the time. So if you do walk with the spirits
and ground yourself in the earth, see how small your problems are.
Feel the fire of your own dignity inside of you.
Float beyond yourself to see from others' perspectives.
and let the hurt you feel float out of you, you may still feel yourself circling back to anger and frustration. If you start to spin in that spiral, don't direct your energy inward toward impossible attempts to change your feelings and frustrations. Instead, direct your energy toward your actions, that they may do no harm to yourself or others.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. I will never forget you, wise spirit. I love you, all of you.
We'll be back around before you know it.
We promise, kid.
I think you'll do just fine without us.
I believe in you. We believe in you.
Sophia lifts up her palm almost like a high five. Madge meets Sophia's palm with her own. Then Madge turns back to narration.
The spirits of the forest taught the girl to be better. She grew deeper and wider and more powerful until she was able to look up and see the stars. I know there are stars to come, and whether or not I am allowed to linger in this incredible forest with these spirits to guide me, I know I am a better person for the time I have spent here. I will never stop working to be better. I promise that I will carry that work onward beyond this heaven among the trees.
End of play. Thank you to everyone who has watched the video, and now that people have seen it, do you have any questions for your audience? Any comments or particular feedback that you're looking or hoping to get now that people have seen the work?
One thing I am very interested in is maybe potentially creating a version that could tour to schools. And two things I might need for that are, one, it will probably need to be cut down some. So if there were to be a shorter version written, is there anything that people feel like could be cut or think that's a good idea? And also anything that might be a little too dark for kiddos. I think I tried to write it pretty PG, but if there's anything in there that might not be super welcome for a little kiddo, I'd like to hear maybe if anyone out there is a parent who might be able to give advice on if a different version was to be created, maybe for middle schools or even for grade schools, what editing you might like to see for that.
Any other thoughts or anything that you want to leave your people with before?
I'd love to hear just what people think in general, as always, what they think about the overall format and how the alternating between the stories and the scenes with the troupe works, and the audience interaction. And I'll be honest, I haven't thought much about what feedback I want.
And it's worth pointing out that the entire show could potentially be done with the bike and the things you can fit in that bike's basket, right?
Yes. Or at least it could fit in the back of a van. And I know from personal experience what can fit in the back of a van while touring with the theater troupe.
Thank you. And yeah.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You too.